How do I build partnerships or collaborations to grow faster? So we're going to talk about here strategic partnerships that can dramatically grow your reach, your resources, and your market share, but if they're done right. Because if they're not done right, ultimately what's going to happen is you've just wasted time and effort and energy and money on hiring somebody or doing a partnership that's not good for your business. Maybe it doesn't make the business look better. It has a damaging effect in the marketplace. Maybe the person is not who you thought they were. Maybe it takes time and effort to do something with them and drain your effort, because I will tell you this, some people and some businesses are a complete time suck. They do everything wrong. They are just sucking your time away, and ultimately time is something you can't get back. So when going into a partnership or a collaboration, you have to take a look at many different factors. And it's not just, is this financially better for me, but does this make me feel better? Is it going to promote growth here? Is it a positive environment? Or is it a negative environment? Could this lead bad? What could this turn out to be in a negative sense? Avoid those pitfalls in the future. So partnerships can multiply what you can do alone. Maybe it's a partnership on a certain product. Maybe it's an offer you're putting together where you put in a portion of something, somebody else puts in a portion. Maybe it's a partnership on shipping. Maybe you have something on shipping. Maybe it's some other kind of partnership that you didn't even know existed, right? You're licensing something from somebody that's part of your business. So partnerships and collaborations are great, but you need to look at the different types, because not all types are good. Some of them could end up bad. So what is a good type of partnership? Referral partnerships, right? Referrals are great. They are pre-vetted, but watch out, because not all referrals are good. Definitely do your due diligence. Make sure that you're not just falling into the trap of getting somebody that was referred to you, going into a partnership with them, and ultimately it ends up in a bad scenario. Co-marketing collaborations. These are great because marketing always comes at a cost. So if you can co-collaborate on marketing and put offers together or work with somebody, this is best. Some of the things that we are in line to do is ultimately buy a marketing firm. So we have marketing agencies ourselves that run our own businesses. But if I was to ever expand and grow massively bigger, instead of hiring people on for my marketing agency, what I would do is just buy a new marketing agency and use that to expand the businesses and to grow, which are steps that we are going to be taking in the next few years. If you want to know from me, that's what I am doing. I'm not just talking about it, that is actually in the process. So joint product launches. These are good, and there's people in the info space that are great at this. They have their own residents and their own team and their own basic people that are out there, right? Their own community, and they go with somebody else, and then they get their communities to commingle and they'll work together because they do a co-op or a collaboration and they do a product launch together. So this is another strategic operation that they can do that benefits both of them. Now, strategic alliances for service bundles. These are also something as well. Maybe you run a business that you do services on a house, or you sell a product, but let's say you don't have a service company to help you. You can team up with a service company that can help, whether they're involved with your emails or you do a service order to them and you work out something there. Maybe you upsell their services so they get a portion of that service and you get a portion of it as well. There's many different ways to do this. So ideally, this will just jog the mind on what can and can't be done and get you thinking. Now, what I like to do is what I call a partnership prenup. And a partnership prenup is this. No, it's not a marriage one, because I don't believe in that stuff. But on the business side, it is like a marriage. And in partnerships, you have different people with different skill sets and different visions and views and their own goals and their own direction that they're going. So what I do is, on this professional partnership prenup is what I call it, ultimately, it discloses and everybody fills this out, so we all come to the table and we all talk about it. And some of the things that are included in it are, what time and effort are they going to be putting into the business? What's their skill set? Are they going to be putting their own skill set into the business as a courtesy and as pro bono, or are they going to be charging for it? If they're charging, what are they charging? How much money are they going to inject into the business or into the partnership? How much resources are they going to put in? Over what period of time? What's their availability? What happens in this scenario and that scenario? And we go down this. And so what this does is this brings the conversation to the table so that we talk about all of this stuff up front. So when we go into the partnership, we can have this in there. Now, you can look up partnership agreement, JV agreement, and yes, they have templates that are out there. I like doing my own. So I'll take the template, but then I add everything in later on. Maybe put addendums in the back that could change or subject to change. Why? Agreements, and I've talked about this many times, are what you and me talk about written in paper so that we can come back and it's on paper and it's not your version is different than my version or vice versa. And the same thing goes with partnerships, because I will tell you the pitfall that people fall in is they future everything, future fake everything. Oh my God, we're gonna do great. We're gonna have a best business. We're gonna rock and roll. We're gonna do all this, but they forget that it takes work to get there and people are gonna get stressed. And yes, you may have a great energy going on right now, but what happens in 2 weeks when something very stressful comes up and now your pedal's to the metal and the fire's blazing, and guess what? One of the partners isn't even there. He's kicked rocks and he's somewhere else because he doesn't want to deal with the stress. Well, maybe you didn't talk about that early on, or you didn't have something signed early on that talks about what happens when this happens and what are we going to do about it. So these are things, understand this, look at things that are better and that can protect you in the future with you and your partnership. So what else do we find in the right partners? Shared audiences, I talked about that a little bit. Complementary, not competing offerings. You don't want to compete with an offer. You want to complement your offer, because if you compete with it, now that could possibly, and it most likely will, end very badly. So don't compete, make sure it complements the offer. Also, shared values and work ethic. What's their work ethic? I've simply told people many times in the past, I'm sorry, but your work ethic is different than mine. The way you operate your business is different than mine, and I just can't do business with you. I just can't be your partner on this. I just can't work with this anymore. And ultimately what that's doing is, realistically, I'm saying, I don't like what you're effing doing, and I don't agree with it, or you just operate at a different frequency than me, but I'm saying it in a non-confrontational way, because I do things in business and I operate my business very fast, very efficiently. I'm the sole owner in most of my businesses, me and my wife, so I'm able to make decisions and implement things, and that's how we're able to grow things so fast. I'm not a know-it-all, and I don't have an ego with it. But at the same time, if somebody is not complying with certain things, if they're lackadaisical, if I send an email and I ask for 5 things, but they reply with 2, and then I have to email again, and then they reply with 1, and then I email again, that's just careless, it's reckless. I will call it out once. It will not happen again, because I may not work with them again, and I will let them know and I'll put them on notice, because I just don't like that. And that's me saying, I don't like the way you operate your business. I don't like the things that you do. This resonates at a different frequency than I do, or you operate your business different than me. I'm sorry, we can't do this anymore. Those are the people that time suck your way right out of an opportunity. So be careful of that, not to fall into that trap. Now, always structure your partnerships to be a win-win. Right? We hear this all the time. Oh, it's a win-win, it's a win-win. Is it really a win-win? Incentives, they have to be aligned. The product, the offering, whatever it is, what your resources that you're bringing to the table, they have to be in line, not just in conversation, but in actual work, in actual substance going forward. So make sure that you revisit this, because things can change. People mature, they start having their own needs, wants, and desires change over time, and ultimately this will affect you as well. So start small before going in too deep. Don't go in too deep. Pilot projects are a good start. Test with one, make another one, try another one, see where it goes from there. I actually do that in some of my partnership agreements. I say, hey, we're gonna start small and then we're gonna work up from there. We both have the right to cancel this agreement within the first 6 months or the first year or whatever, maybe the first couple of weeks, so that I can get over a project. I can see, hey, is this working? Cool. Then we go to the next one. Then we go to the next one. You can write whatever you want in the agreement. The agreement is a conversation on a piece of paper. So don't feel like you have to go with these templates. Have some addendums in there. Have some custom language in there. Put in there the things that you want, that we revisit this at 60 days, at 90 days, at 120 days, at 6 months, whatever the case may be. Put those in there so that you have the control of this, and you're telling them, look, I want the ability to review this so that if it doesn't work for both of our sake, then we can part our ways and we don't have to deal with this anymore. So the right partnerships, they can unlock massive growth, 100x, 10x growth. The wrong one can completely kill momentum, right? So make sure you're understanding of all of this. Now, on the next part, we're gonna be talking about here, the next segment, how do I know if I'm building a business that could eventually run without me? Well, funny story is that if you watched a couple videos ago, we just talked about this. So this is a trick question, but it's a good video. We have some good stuff coming up. See you on the next one.